are we going?
We're going on an adventure.
We've been driving for 9 days straight, well over 3,000 miles from San Diego, California to the border with Alaska on the Alcan Highway. So if you look this way, that is the Yukon border, Canada. And right ahead, folks, is Alaska. This is the famous Klondike paddle wheel boat. These are caribou. This is a major mile marker on the Alcan Highway.
The Alaska Highway is an iconic journey that has fascinated travelers for decades. Spanning over 1,400 miles, it is a path that weaves through the breathtaking landscapes, quaint towns, and untouched wilderness linking British Columbia to Alaska. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today.
Oh, this is something we've been looking for days, 5 days in the making now. Welcome to Whistler, British Columbia. The beautiful mountain town, Alpine Village. We have a luxury hotel suite booked for the evening to get out of the van, get real showers. We're gonna go to dinner and celebrate my most wonderful wife's birthday.
It looks like a little Swiss town.
It does. Looks like a little Swiss Alpine town. Blackcomb Lodge. This is our home for tonight. Dinner in Whistler, British Columbia, celebrating my beautiful wife's birthday.
Happy birthday to me.
We're on our way back to Alaska from San Diego. We bought a camper van, and it's 4,000 miles from San Diego to Alaska. Right now, going through beautiful BC, British Columbia. What's this, honey?
I don't know.
It's called a seafood trio, and there's some tuna and some beef tartare, and then something else.
Scallop.
Scallops.
Yeah.
Manger, dessert. What is it, love?
Lemon tart. Black forest.
Gato. This is our view for the night. British Columbia, we had a lovely night in a wonderful hotel, a fantastic gourmet dinner with my beautiful wife for her birthday. And it's time to leave this lovely place. I think I could stay here for a little while longer, but we must move. We're headed out of Whistler, British Columbia towards Prince George, and then on to Dawson Creek after that, and the start of the Alaskan Highway.
Reach your hand to the highway where the goods are out and the odds are good.
One of the steepest roads I've ever seen. The grade on this highway here is 13%. That's a lot for a major highway. This is the famous Dawson Creek, Alberta grain elevators, and the world famous Alaska Highway starts right here, mile zero. 1,000 miles to go back home. Tonight we're headed to Fort Nelson. That's about 5 or 6 hours from here up the Alaskan Highway. Then after that, some fantastic hot springs at Laird Hot Springs, and then on to Whitehorse, Haines Junction, and Tok, Alaska. This is a remarkable place. We headed out of Fort Nelson this morning. We were about an hour and a half outside of Fort Nelson, headed northwest on the Alcan Highway. And we are getting into what's considered the Northern Rockies. We're headed to Laird Hot Springs, L-I-A-R-D. Ears are popping. Remember, this Alcan Highway was built in the early 40s, in World War II, by the United States military in anticipation of needing to send men and machines up to Alaska to defend Alaska from invading armies during World War II. Here we go. Here's our descent.
Lost in the land of the midnight sun. Reach your hand to the highway where the goods are out and the odds are good, and our blessings come from the birchwood. It's a wild life in the Great Lakes, the husband and wife on the homestead. There's nothing like living this wild. It's a wild life. It's a wild life.
The wilderness here seems just endless, like even more so than Alaska. We drive for hours and hours with nothing but scenic far as you can see, with very few towns. Okay, so we are taking a little detour here to the Tetsa River Lodge and the Cinnamon Bun Center at Tetsa River Lodge on the Alcan Highway. A really pretty place. Can't wait to go see what we can find in there. We don't need fuel, but we might need cinnamon bun fuel.
That's for sure.
Okay, we're gonna go inside, share with you what we find. We're about 2 hours east of Laird Hot Springs, which is our destination for today, but we're stopping for this place because they're supposed to have famous cinnamon buns. That sound you hear is the generator. It's likely on generator power out here because there's probably no electricity. So they run this entire facility off the diesel generator. Kind of a smoker in there. Really nice setup here. Oh my goodness, it smells good in here. We stopped for a cinnamon bun.
Hot cinnamon bun, big as my head.
And it's still warm, isn't it?
Ah, it's still hot, warm. Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna fit in your mouth. This is the Tetlin Lodge on the Alcan Highway, about 2 hours from Laird Hot Springs, 2 hours east of Laird Hot Springs. And they offer these amazing hot, sticky cinnamon buns. A little bit of sugar for the road. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. That's just the campground right there. What a remarkable lake that is. So this is exciting. We're on the Alcan Highway, about an hour and a half outside of Laird Hot Springs, and we've got some wild sheep right here on the corner, traveling in our camper van, and I can't wait to show you these wild sheep. Just right there. Wild sheep right there. They don't seem to mind us very much at all. Oh. There they go. They see me, so they're headed up. Absolutely beautiful. I don't think they're hunted here, so they're not really concerned with us. What a treat this is. Wild sheep on the side of the highway. And we got to see them up close. Right there. You ready to go, honey?
Oh, yeah.
And there's more sitting way up there. That's the ewes. You can see your young females and the babies up there. Seems to be endless numbers of these little bridges over mountain streams. Glacial silt water is why it's gray like that, not clear. One of the most beautiful views yet. We're driving the Alcan Highway. This is at about kilometer 667. We started in Dawson Creek at kilometer 0, and they have markers all along. But remember, this was built in 1942 by American soldiers with heavy equipment, and my mind struggles to understand how exactly they built this road between the mountain and this river with that old equipment of that day out in what was the wilderness. It's absolutely beautiful. We are 1 mile from our destination. We've been held up. We've been driving for 5.5 hours. We held up from this evening, the campground and the very famous hot springs. Checking into the RV park at the lodge for the Laird Hot Springs. Let's go inside. This is where we started the Alcan Highway several days ago.
It's where we spent the night last night, Fort Nelson. And we are here. Kilometers from the town of Dawson Creek, if you guys are wondering where this is. And it's probably about another 500 to 700 kilometers to the end. Right ahead of us is the Liard Hot Spring building. So we're getting close now. So this is interesting. It tells about the hot springs, the campground, the boardwalk. This is what it looks like inside. It's where we just went, this boardwalk. Warm water marsh. Pretty cool. Okay. You ready, honey? The Liard Hot Springs has a rich history dating back thousands of years to when it was first used by the indigenous people of the area. Today, it's a popular destination for travelers with amenities like showers and washrooms and picnic tables. But what really sets it apart is its natural beauty. The hot springs are surrounded by lush vegetation and the water is crystal clear. And if you time your visit just right, you can even catch a glimpse of the northern lights. One of the best times to visit Liard Hot Springs is in the early morning or the late evening, when the crowds are smaller and the atmosphere is more peaceful. Just remember to bring your insect repellent. Those mosquitoes can be fierce in the summer months. And if you ever find yourself traveling along the Alaska Highway, we highly recommend making a stop there.
Liard Hot Springs. Lovely.
No, they drive up to southern British Columbia. Rachel, are you taking pictures?
Rachel, will you take our picture too? Oh, you are so awesome.
Liard Hot Springs. Wonderful place. Wife. Trying to get the wife out of the pool so we can go to dinner. Okay, we've had enough of the Liard Hot Springs today. Wore us out. Lovely. Relaxed place. This is what it looks like. All right, let's go. This is the entrance to Liard Hot Springs. We've spent about an hour soaking in those beautiful warm waters. And it's a wonderful way to end a long day on the highway, long days of travel. It's a bit of an oasis out here in the middle of nowhere, British Columbia on the Alcan Highway. Well worth every hour that we've spent. Yep. Now it's time for dinner.
Highly recommend it.
Highly recommend it.
Okay, it's 7 a.m. and we're leaving Liard Hot Springs Lodge, and I see something in the parking lot here that I was wondering how it got there, because it looks like a big cow patty. And apparently the herd of buffalo paid us a visit last night, because right in the middle of the parking lot at the lodge is a buffalo, what's called a buffalo chip. Do you see that, honey?
I do see
I was
that.
wondering what that was when we pulled in here. I was like, when we pulled out of the campground, I was like, what is that and why is it in the parking lot? Well, that's why, because there's a herd of bison on the highway just up ahead. So we're headed to Whitehorse, 400 miles to the west. Our last full day in Canada. I believe this is day 9 of our van journey. Look at that. And they're crossing the road. These are not tame herds. Nobody owns. These are wild herds that Canada manages. Canadian government. We are way out in the middle of nowhere in northern British Columbia, on the edge of the Rocky Mountains. Good morning, Mr. Bison, little baby bison. Mama grooming her calf this morning. That's fantastic. We want to keep our distance from these wild creatures. They are very large and they are wild. We're not interested in disturbing them. We just want photos. Okay, I'm going to stop for just a second. You can take a photo. See that big bull straight ahead looking at us. He's checking us out. Wow. Really fun. Just another morning with Living My Alaska on the latest van life journey. Okay, well it's 7:30 on a Labor Day morning. We're headed out of Laird Hot Springs on our way to Whitehorse today, about 6 hours ahead. And this is typical driving on the Alcan Highway from what I understand. A little bit of fog this morning. We saw bison early this morning. I'm hoping to see some grizzly bears today. And day 9 of our driving from San Diego back to our home in Alaska. Next stop, Watson Lake and the Signpost Forest. This is a major mile marker on the Alcan Highway. This is the Signpost Forest. It's the largest of its kind on the planet, and it shares the story of a lonely soldier in 1942 building this highway that put up a signpost of how far it was from his home in Illinois, and then everybody started doing it. And over the years, it's been quite the tradition. Signpost Forest, Watson Lake, Yukon Territory. Oh my God, it's huge. Way bigger than I expected. Let's go inside, see what we can find. There are thousands and thousands of signposts marking places from all over the globe, from Illinois to Arizona to Germany and Ontario, Canada, Napa Valley, Indiana, and it goes on. And people come from all over the world to mark their location and how far they are from their hometown. Manny, Louisiana, that's not too far from my end of the world. There's no organization to these things. It's totally random, so it's not like you can walk through here and see, you know, and try to find something that you might know. So you've just got to walk the thing and see what you find. This is day 3 of our ride from Dawson Creek up to Tok, Alaska. And then from Tok, Alaska, we're going to head home into central Alaska. We've got about 2 or 3 more days on the road. And I believe this is day 9 of our journey from San Diego. Total of roughly 4,000 miles at the end of this trip. Day 14 probably. So we're going to show you around this Signpost Forest a little bit more here.
Here are some of the highlights in the story of the Signpost Forest. In 1968, the site became a managed tourist attraction. 1988, the first signs count census recorded 6,281 signs, and folks, that was in 1988. In 1991, the number of signs doubled to 12,847. 1992, a time capsule was placed in the forest, and it's to be opened in the year 2042, and I'd love to be there for that. In the year 2012, the numbers of signs reached 75,817, and as of 2023, the site has over, get ready for this, 90,000 signs. The Signpost Forest is one of the famous landmarks along the Alaska Highway and a top tourist attraction in the Yukon. The town of Watson Lake maintains the site, and visitors can add their own signs or make one at the Visitors Information Center.
Liège is in Belgium, Paris, Ontario, South Carolina. It's endless, folks, in every direction. Signposts and placards, homemade signs, and old license plates. Baden, Switzerland, Michigan, Manitoba, Canada. It's incredible. This is an interesting one. Uncertain, Texas, population 93. I'm gonna have to look that up, where that is in Texas. Love to know.
This is incredible.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing, isn't it? It goes on forever. It's kind of intimidating. Next time we come through here, we absolutely need to bring an old license plate or something, or make our own sign.
We have to make a sign.
Yeah, it's all different languages. French. That's obviously Switzerland. It just goes on forever.
It wraps around this building.
Somewhere it says how many of these tags are on these trees. It's in the thousands. Some folks leave notes on their signs. Greeting from Almost Heaven, West Virginia, Mountain Springs Cidery, Lee and Kathleen McLaughlin. Well, that's very recent, 8/19/2024. That's cool. Saskatchewan, Canada, North Dakota, Kansas. Someone needs to do like a graduate school project and research every one of these signs. Note where they're on a map.
Alaska or bust?
Alaska or bust. Alaska or bust. I like that. These are European license plates. And one from Chile, about as far from Europe as you can imagine. Some of these have been here for decades, some of them just a matter of weeks. I wish I knew where the original sign was.
I know, that's what I was kind of looking for.
Minnesota, 1995. That's quite a long time ago. Coors, Switzerland. We know where that is.
We know exactly where that is. We would go shopping there.
That's fantastic. I wonder who put that. Love it. Do we have anything we can attach to a sign? I don't think we have anything. We could pull off one of his old license plates, but that says California on it.
It just gives us a reason to come back.
Some of the equipment used to build the Alcan Highway in the 1940s they kept here. The Watson Lake Signpost Forest is the oldest and most extensive site of its type. Carl Lindley started this signpost forest in 1942 when he was a homesick soldier from Danville, Illinois, working on the construction of the Alaskan Highway. I wonder if
idea what he was starting.
he had no idea what he was starting, and I wonder if his family knows about what he started here in 1942. This is an old crane, earth mover, a dozer, and another crane truck from that era of 1940s that they used to build this road.
The Signpost Forest gained international attention in the 1980s when a Canadian broadcasting company news team stumbled upon it. The subsequent broadcast put the forest on the map, and it soon became a must-see destination for travelers driving along the Alcan Highway. The transformation from a quirky roadside attraction to a world-renowned destination wasn't without its challenges. The town of Watson Lake, where the forest is located, had to adapt to the influx of visitors, and the forest itself has been preserved and protected. Despite the challenges, the Signpost Forest remains a testament to the power of the human connection and creativity. It's a place where people from all walks of life come together to share their stories, to inspire, and to be inspired.
The 60th parallel, Alcan Highway. This is Watson Lake. This is where we are. We've come from way down here off of the map, and we are headed this way back to Alaska. This is the border of British Columbia and the Yukon Territory of Alaska. Very interesting. It tells the story of the Alaska Highway, 1942. 10,000 American troops and 6,000 civilians built this road, 1,700 miles between Dawson Creek, BC and Delta Junction, Alaska, which is just outside of Fairbanks. And they built it for military use originally. This is what happens in the middle of the winter. Minus 40 Celsius is, I don't know, something about maybe 10 or 20 below zero Fahrenheit. So what happens when you throw water into the air when it's that cold. And this is what it's like out here in the winter. And this is a fantastic map. It shows you, gives you an idea of where we are right now. We're somewhere right here, and we're going to Alaska that's over here. It gives you an idea of what else is on the 60th parallel. It would be equivalent to living in Norway or Finland or northern Russia. Until about 50 years ago, this was absolutely the last frontier, or still the wild western frontier of the Great North. You can see these men from that era, 1800s, 1887 to be exact. Yukon Territory is a famous area for trapping. It's all part of this adventure with Living My Alaska. Wild bison hanging out on the side of the Alaskan Highway. You can see the big bull right there at the front of the herd nearest us. He has a big collar around his neck. I'm sure that's a tracking collar. And some small cows. Some little babies down there on the end to the right. From 234 miles from Whitehorse, Yukon Territory. Welcome to the Caribou RV Park, just outside Whitehorse, Yukon Territory. This is our home for tonight. It's supposed to have a great restaurant here and some good fun things to do. Tomorrow back into Alaska. We're here at the Yukon River in Whitehorse, and we're going to see a historic paddle wheel from the early 1900s in the gold rush. Let's check this out. This is lovely.
It is.
This is the famous Klondike paddle wheel boat that hauled men and supplies and miners up the Yukon River for the gold rush in the early 1900s. 210 feet long, built out of wood. Klondike 2 was the crowning achievement of the riverboat design, British Columbia. Powerful and large enough to carry heavy loads without the need to push a barge. 1937. 75 passengers, 2 steam engines. Wow. 23 crew members.
It would go between Whitehorse and Dawson City.
Whitehorse and Dawson City. It's Dawson City there. Whitehorse is down here, and I'm pretty sure this is the path of the mighty Yukon River back through Alaska and out to the Arctic Ocean. We're headed into the Yukon Visitor Center in the historic town of Whitehorse. And this one looks like it's impressive. It's big. Oh, I love this.
Look, Watson Lake, we were there.
Yeah, so this is the Alaska Highway down here.
So we started over in Fort Nelson.
Yeah, that's
and then We drove
Laird Hot Springs,
to
Watson Lake.
and then we came this way. And we were in the Whitehorse.
This is where we are today.
Yep.
Whitehorse, and then
And then we're going to.
go over to Haines Junction.
And then we're gonna end over here.
Tonight's destination is Tok, Alaska. It's a beautiful map. All right, let's go inside. Oh wow, look at this. This is fantastic.
No, I'm not. It's supposed to be interactive some way.
So I guess you press it and it lights up. Yeah, look, Skagway, Alaska, and the little light
Oh, I
down
see.
there. Oh my gosh,
So
that's
here's
awesome.
Alaska Highway.
Which, oh, it lights up the whole thing.
The red, you see? The lights kind of.
That's fantastic. Is it the entire highway? No, this is just the Yukon part, I think. Yeah. It stops. Dawson Creek would be way down there. Muncho Lake, Watson Lake, Alaska Highway, all the way.
That's cool.
Yes, it is. So that is Tuktoyaktuk, way up there at the end of that red stripe. That's where people like to go. It's kind of the like Prudhoe Bay destination, but in Canada. Oh, that's a brown bear. Okay, we're back on the road. We're headed out of the beautiful town of Whitehorse in the Yukon Territory. Next stop is Tok, Alaska. We won't be there until, I don't know, 6 or 7 o'clock tonight. And I think we will make it home to central Alaska tomorrow. This is one of the last towns before we hit the Alaskan border. This is the cute little town of Haines Junction. It's 12 noon. We got some stops to make, get some food to eat, and refuel with gasoline. This is called Destruction Bay, about 1 hour west of Haines Junction in the Yukon Territory. We are about 4 hours from our destination in Tok, Alaska. About 2 hours from the Alcan border, where we cross back into the United States.
It's a wildlife in the Great Lakes, the husband and wife on the homestead. There's nothing mild.
Parts of Alaska and Canada like this, in the winter the ground freezes and then it heaves upward, and in the springtime it will move and it may expand or it may shrink or it may just collapse and make a hole in the road. But it makes for some very slow going and some very rough going in parts of this area, and it's famous. This area is famous for frost heaves, and that's what a frost heave looks like, ladies and gentlemen, right here. And right now they're not too bad. In the springtime and early summer, these things can absolutely destroy your vehicle. One of the reasons we bought this van is for this kind of road. These kind of roads are very typical in our state of Alaska, and I'm really pleased to see how so far this van has handled these roads. It has big tough tires, very heavy duty suspension. Okay everyone, this is a major milestone, and this is something I've been waiting for 9 days now. Right behind us is the Alaskan border, and our new van behind that. We've been driving for 9 days straight, well over 3,000 miles from San Diego, California to the border with Alaska on the Alcan Highway. So if you look this way, that is the Yukon border, Canada, and right ahead, folks, is Alaska, our home state, and our home is another day away. This is Alaska, this is Canada, and right ahead, right there, is the international boundary mark for Alaska that way, Canada this way, United States. The Treaty of 1925, which establishes this border, and Canada. Fantastic. This map helps tell the story of what we've done today. We took the Alaskan Highway from this way to Haines Junction, and we've traveled all this way. This giant lake, very scenic, some extremely rough patches of road through here, through the little town of Beaver Creek, and the Alaska-Yukon border. We're headed this way into Alaska. Back in Alaska, we're excited to be here.
Welcome home.
Welcome home. This is a great map, tells the story of the public lands. This is Alaska, Yukon Territory. Down here would be the rest of the United States. We are right here. And tonight we're going to Tok, Alaska, and then down towards Anchorage in central Alaska to our home. About another hour to Tok tonight, and then another day of driving, about another 6 hours home to central Alaska tomorrow. Some of the wild animals you might see on an Alcan trip. We've seen grizzly, caribou, no moose. Okay, you guys, this is it. We made it to Tok, Alaska. 3,400 miles from Southern California, San Diego to be exact. Tonight, we're gonna go somewhere we haven't seen or been to in a decade, and that is the roadhouse called Fast Eddie's in Tok, Alaska. And this is gonna be our home for tonight.
Fast Eddie's.
Wow, it's busy tonight. Fast Eddie's. Gosh, can you believe it? Last time we came through here it was -20 and deep snow on the road. We just need to find a place to park. This is what happens when you spend too many hours on a road in one day. Giant rack of ribs, fried mushrooms, onion rings, burger at the Fast Eddie's Roadhouse in Tok, Alaska. This was our Airbnb for the evening. We wanted to get out of the van, stretch out, have good showers. And today we're headed home to our home in Alaska, about 6 hours from Tok. It's going to be quite the drive. We've been on the road for, I think, 11 days, maybe 12. I've lost count. And it's a beautiful, crisp morning. It's in the upper 30s temperatures right now. I have something to show you here. This place is called Caribou Cabins, and they've got some caribou. Beautiful, big reindeer. Hello, Mr. Caribous. They are beautiful. Look how pretty. When they're domesticated like this, they are called reindeer, but these are caribou. And I guess you could call them reindeer because they've been domesticated, but they're beautiful. And I think these are both males with these big antlers like this. Are they pretty? I know. Look at the big, beautiful antlers on those things. They are pretty. You can tell they're quite tame. He's looking at us like, what are you going to feed us? We're headed over to Fast Eddie's Roadhouse in Tok, Alaska for breakfast this morning. We're hungry and we're ready to get on the road.
Finally back in Alaska in the United States. Very happy to be here. We are headed to our home, which is about 7 hours away, and we're looking forward to it. Right, honey? It's been an amazing adventure. Almost 4,000 miles. 12 days of constant traveling in our new to us camper van. We flew down to San Diego almost 2 weeks ago and purchased this van. And we drove it from San Diego, California, up through California, through Oregon, through Washington State, through the British Columbia area of Canada, and then the massive and beautiful Yukon Territory of Canada. And now we made it back into Alaska last night. And after a good night's sleep and some breakfast at Fast Eddie's, a famous roadhouse in Tok, Alaska, we're headed down near Anchorage. We've got about 7 hours ahead of us back to our home. And we have some amazing things to show you. This is not the end of the trip. There's a lot of excitement, and even today, because we're going to drive through some beautiful scenery in some very remote part of Alaska, and then we're going to pop out on a highway that drives right next to a massive glacier and some of the prettiest sights in Alaska. There's a family of swans living in this pond up here. We'll do our best to capture it for you. That is so pretty. Those aren't, what are those? Are swans? And that's a goose and some swans. The gray one is some sort of a goose. I can't remember what type that is. And then some ducks with them. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's pretty. The town of Glen Allen. Glen Allen is a small little town in central Alaska, but it's notable because it's sort of a hub. If you go east of this, then you head over to Valdez and the Wrangell St. Elias Forest and all points that way. If you go west from here, then you head up west north, you head up to Fairbanks. And if you go south from here, you'll head to the big city of Anchorage and Kenai Peninsula and all points south of here. So this is a popular little spot. And this is our stop as we are headed down Anchorage way today. We're going to Anchorage because our car is at the airport and we've got to pick up our car before we head home to the backcountry. And so we have another busy day ahead of us, several hours of driving. We won't be home until this evening. But we just thought we'd share with you exactly where we are. And this is a busy little place. It seems like everybody who visits Alaska comes through Glen Allen. And I think we have, what? Oh, let's see, 4 hours. 3 to 4 hours ahead of us. Glen Allen to Anchorage. Very popular scenic spot. Panoramic views will be great. That to the left of us is the amazingly beautiful Matanuska Glacier. Massive and really beautiful. I've made a full loop now. I've closed up that loop because I left my home, drove to the airport in Anchorage, got on an airplane, flew to San Diego, bought this camper van, spent 4,000 miles in 11 days driving this camper van back to Alaska, back to the airport. My wife is driving the car home, and I'm in the van. And we're headed to the backcountry of Alaska to our home. This is the stop that we've been looking forward to for almost 4,000 miles in the last 11 days. It's our favorite burger and ice cream place, and it's a little store called Miller's on the outskirts of Wasilla, Alaska. And after this very, very long trip from California all the way home to our beloved Alaska, we're celebrating with some ice cream and a delicious cheeseburger. Well, we are home. This is the gravel road leading to our house in the backcountry of Alaska, and I'm so glad you could join us on this epic adventure to go and buy this camper van in San Diego, California, and drive it 4,000 miles in 11 days back to Alaska. And I'm exhausted and I'm tired, but I'm super excited. It's been extremely rewarding.
If you enjoyed these explorations, please like and subscribe and check out our other videos and travel tips with Living My Alaska. Let's go there now.